Hi family, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm OYOKO, but you could call me V. And today's video is me advising my younger self, my thoughts on adulting, and a few of the lessons that I've learned so far. I'll be sharing those with you. So if you find this interesting, then stick around and make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video and let's get into it. I don't think I ever wanted to be an adult. I just wanted to be old enough to do certain things, like go out, not have any issues with getting in, stuff like that. But now that I am an adult, it's just, it feels like there is so much more to be worried about if I let it. And I had a revelation the other day where I sat down, I was like, wait, the trauma that my parents went through or whatever they went through has impacted me in so many ways. It really seeps through in their parenting skills. I'm not bashing their parenting skills. This is not what that is at all. I'm just saying it seeped through because these are very strong-willed, determined, hardworking people that love to people please, but they are in search of peace. They want to divert from anyone who really rules or lives their life with an iron fist. That's a no-go. And they want to escape hardships. Even though they go through hardships, they do want to escape hardships. And they observed their surroundings, they observed their caregivers and thought to themselves, okay, what is it that I can take from them and put it into practice that will have a positive impact on our children, on, in this case, me. There's no parenting handbook on how to raise a child in the best way possible. I get that, and I'm not bashing them at all. I always saw them as mom and dad, nothing else. Not as individuals with their own lives, with their own struggles, with their own emotions, with their own unresolved issues, with their own trauma. None of that. I know this is proper selfish. I mean, children are selfish. I mean, this is how they survive. Anyway, I digress. I was thinking like that. Obviously, my thinking and my relationship with them has changed. But I was actually it dawned on me. I was like, oh wow, I've been doing this. I've been behaving in a way. I'm like, they'll always be there. They're just mom and dad. However, one thing that I've definitely learned throughout my life is to live life for myself and not allow them or anyone else for that matter to use my life as their backup plan. Use my life or allow anyone else to use my life to mend whatever is broken within themselves or within their situation, or to make up for their mistakes or make up for something that they are lacking in their life or within themselves. I cannot allow it for someone else to move and live my life the way they want when they have their life on their own. This is my life. If I had listened to myself from the get-go, if I had listened to myself, I would be in a different place right now. Maybe for the better, maybe for worse, who knows? I eventually did what I wanted to do, which was leave my birth country and go and explore the unknown. I moved to the UK. I left my friends and family behind. I had no backup plan. I just did what felt right and I left everyone behind. And I'm very glad that I did. Yeah, I got to meet so many people. I experienced things for the first time again. I really needed to build my resilience and count on myself to do things in a way that would, help me, because otherwise it was done. It was go hard or go home, like literally go hard, manage to survive this or go home. Like you are, unequipped to do this. So I managed to do that, and I'm really, really happy that I stayed. I wanted to show you a book that I read, just to understand a bit more about the behaviors that my parents really displayed and how that affected me. Because it started to click. I was like, oh, wait. Yeah, I can see that now. Oh, I can see that now. So I think it's more focused on mothers. This is the book, Will I Ever Be Good Enough? So I read this book. This is more focused on mums. I saw someone reading this book. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me go and read it myself too. So I read this book and I was like, oh, I can see what's happening here now to some degree. So this is why I realized, okay, the trauma that they went through and how it seeped into their parenting and how that infected me, or not infected, how that impacted me, was also because of this book. Because I was reading, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So that's the reason why I was like, I think with lots of people, they forever see their mothers as mothers, or their caregivers, shall I say, as caregivers, not as individual people, like as people that have their own lives and own stuff to go through and have their own love lives and all that stuff. I do believe that people just see their parents, their caregivers, as forever caregivers, which, I mean, it is that they are caregivers. I don't think it stops when your child is 18, but they have their own lives, and it's just like this imprint of no, forever mom. So whatever it is, it's just, it makes it almost hard to like see them as like individual people that have other things and have their own desires and have their own like love lives and all that stuff. It's just mom. It's like, or dad, or caregiver, nurturer. That's the only thing. And yeah, it actually is interesting. So I'm gonna do some more research and read more about it, because I do find that very fascinating, just how we interact with our family members and how that impacts us, and how we cannot distinguish them from their role. In a way, is always the role that they've been given, and that will forever be. So that is quite interesting. But that's the book that I was reading, and I do recommend it. This takes me to my next point. What I would advise my younger self: be fearless. It really robs you from joy, and it's a shame. So I used to do things, it really excited me. I still do. I like to try new things all the time. But I think when I was younger, it was just like, yeah, let's do it. Doesn't matter if it's like scary at first, I'll still want to do it. And now I'm more hesitant. So I do want to like get that back again. But yeah, be more fearless, like literally be more fearless. So the next one is, don't wait for people. I've been waiting on others for so long. Like, I would want to do a project, I will literally come up with something, and then I will wait for other people to get that stuff together so we can do it together. Waste of time. Most people don't even know what they want, and if they do, they don't even say it because they don't want to let you down or whatever. It's a huge waste of time. Some people are too afraid to even communicate their true feelings, and then you'll be waiting around. They are doing stuff for you when they don't really want to do it. Like, you don't even know what's going on in their lives. They literally will not tell you. They will not tell you. It's a waste of your time. Don't wait for people. If they really want to join you and they say that they gonna meet you halfway, or they're gonna meet you where you at, then observe their actions. If they don't put it into practice, babe, move on. Don't wait for people. Do what you want to do now. Don't wait for people to praise you. Don't wait for people to inspire you. Don't overvalue other people's opinions of you to the point that it becomes a hindrance, to the point that you cannot move and do the things you want to do. Yeah, don't put their opinions on a pedestal and then you are out here slaving away because you want to fit, you want to cater to them, you want to please them. F that. We're not going to do that anymore. So the next one is similar to the previous one, but celebrate your wins, celebrate yourself, go where you are celebrated, go where people will empower you. And if that's not the case, then leave. Don't be in spaces where you will be tolerated, but just where you will be celebrated. And if you don't have people around you that can celebrate you, then you should do it yourself. You should do it yourself. You can go to those same places where you are celebrated, but the minute that you have a conflict, because I'm just speaking from my own experience, the minute that you have a conflict, they cannot express themselves in a healthy manner, or at least try. And obviously this goes both ways. This is not only on the other person, this is yourself included. If you cannot express yourself in a healthy manner, or at least try to do that in a constructive way, then babe, what are you doing? This is a no-go zone. But if you see that people do that, I try now what I've learned based on my previous experiences. I try to learn how to notice people's actions, and if that goes hand in hand with what they are saying or goes hand in hand with their values. If that's not the case, if there is a dissonance there, then I'm out. Like literally, I'm out. I'm out. I don't want to be around you. You don't need to waste your time. The relationship that you have with these people, the integrity is gone, is absent. So what are you still doing there? Go celebrate yourself, celebrate the wins, and celebrate with people who will celebrate you, who will empower you, and be in those circles and be in those spaces. But if those exact same people will not give you what you need to hear, or cannot deal with conflict in a way that is constructive and healthy, then you should opt out immediately. Opt the F out, like opt out. Yeah, another thing that I've learned as well is that people will express their love for you to you in the way that they know how. And if that does not correspond with the way you take in love, then obviously that needs to be worked on. However, if they express love to you in ways that you cannot understand or cannot take in, then it is up to you to make the decision. Am I going to embrace it? Am I going to tolerate it? Or am I going to deny it? And if you're going to deny it, then that means you need to take yourself out of the equation. And that can look in different ways. Like there are various ways on how you can take yourself out of the equation. You can leave, and if that's not possible, then there are different ways. And obviously seek help if it's really is harmful towards you or the people that you love, or towards themselves. But it's always a choice that you can make. There's always a choice that you can make. Another one is nurture your inner child, because it doesn't matter how old you are, your biological age, your chronological age, it doesn't matter. If your inner child is still alive, it's still there, then nurture it, because it's so precious. And I don't see how having a childlike spirit can be a bad thing. Do what makes you happy, nurture it, cater to it, cater to your soul, cater to your inner child. If it's very much alive, then it needs attention, it needs nurturance. So yeah, do whatever you can do to make yourself feel happy. And if that takes you to your childlike self, then why not? And then the last thing that I would say to my younger self, remember how unique you are. Remember that you are the original. You are the original. You are the blueprint, the pink print, the purple print, the any color print. That's you. And you have a body that is made to serve you 24/7. Its sole purpose is there to keep you alive, to maintain that preciousness in this realm. You are art. You are literally art. You are energy. You are beautiful, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I also watched a few other creators on this topic that were contemplating about, adulthood and why it is so hard. And then, and I read a few articles here and there, and I really asked myself, like, was adulthood meant to be easy though? No one said that it was supposed to be easy. This is not like an attack on anyone, but that's just something that came to mind. I'm like, was it meant to be easy? Probably not. Adulting can be joyous, it can be pleasurable, it can be comforting, it can be okay, right? It doesn't have to be a negative, shitty, boring thing, or like phase, or it's not really a phase, but it's more, we're going to be adults from whenever you think you're an adult up until you die. So it can still be a nice experience, it can still be a cool and loving experience. Yeah, maybe it wasn't meant to be easy, maybe it was meant to be balanced, maybe, or I don't even know, but I don't think it was meant to be easy. I don't think that we all like read the terms and conditions when we were like signing this human contract, like, oh, adulthood is gonna be this and this and it's gonna be amazing. But so we don't know. It's really up to ourselves how adulthood would be, or should be, or can be for us. Maybe the easiest part was childhood. Maybe the easiest part was the time that we really wanted to let go of, not wanting to be a child because you cannot do things for yourself and there's always someone that needs to interfere to decide what you can and cannot do. And now that you're an adult, now you can do those things, but now it's like, it's hard in a way. Also, something that I want to point out, there's this like huge emphasis like everywhere, like in marketing, in media, in just being outside, this emphasis of being young, being youthful. So wanting to be young, but not being a child. And now we realize like, oh wait, maybe the time that I was like really fixated on wanting to be a grown-up, I was actually having the easiest part of my life, the easiest part of this experience. Obviously, this is based on your circumstances. If you had a stable and safe home and you had parents that genuinely cared for you and for your well-being and for your character development, and they set a healthy example of what a loving relationship or healthy relationship should look like, then yeah, maybe then that part of your life was the easiest part. Not worrying about other stuff, because the grown-ups are dealing with that. You can just do whatever you want and just not get killed. Obviously that's not your responsibility, that's the responsibility of the adults. You just do whatever you want and they take care of the rest. That made me think, I'm like, maybe that was meant to be the easiest part, and now the hard part is starting. Now you need to get rid of all those like stuff that happened to you when you were growing up. Adulting to me is also treating time as if it is a commodity. It maybe is, but anyway, to try and treat it as a commodity, because why waste time and energy and your presence on people or things that do not serve you? Instead, build sustainable, fulfilling relationships and doing things that actually, fuel you and like inspire you and all the other things that makes you feel like present and alive. Because is life not a state of impermanence? All of this can go at any given moment in time. So what is it that we're doing? Like, I am guilty myself when I say that I will be observing and then I see people just treat life as if, it's all guaranteed. Like, we always have time to do other stuff. No, we don't. We don't know that. Literally, we do not know that. We don't know if there's going to be a tomorrow. You know, it's easy for us to live our life the way we're doing it because we can like plan ahead and do things and have some structure in our life. There might be a Black Mirror episode on this. I'm not sure. I might need to check if there's something similar to that. But can you imagine that we would be living day to day only? I mean, there are people that live day to day, so I guess we are privileged not to like, you know, constantly be only in the moment, because of like whatever is happening surrounding us. And we don't have to be in like constant mode of like alertness. But where I was going with this, imagine that you wake up, let's say 6 a.m., and you have the whole 24 hours, and after the 24 hours, so the next 6 a.m. is gone. All of the memory wiped out. You don't know that for you there is no yesterday. Like for you there is no yesterday. It's gone. It's gone. So can you imagine that we are so privileged to have that like kind of like movement of like, oh yeah, this happened yesterday and da, and then think of those things, and then also think what's happening now, and then maybe what could happen in the future when the future doesn't exist. Like literally there is no future now, like it's just now. And that keeps, you know, building. And that yeah, I'm not making sense probably, but I think if this is making some kind of sense, let me know. I guess what I'm trying to say is we have the ability to like plan everything ahead because we feel content enough or like secure enough that there will be another day. So therefore we can do whatever we want to plan everything out, and that will make us be at ease. This is easy living then, because we know we can remember what happened yesterday, and then, you know, think ahead and plan something for tomorrow, and then we'll be at ease. Because if we will be forced into only living in the now, knowing that we can think of the past and think for the future, then we will probably go mad. We probably will go mad because we were so infatuated with the future, but knowing that we are not allowed or cannot do that anymore when we've done it before will probably be torturous. I don't know. But anyway, I'm guilty myself, so I'm dragging myself here as well. It actually brings me to another point. The flexibility of us being able to think of the past based on our memory and thinking of the future, and having the pleasure of being in the now, and not having to choose, that we can do all three things, moving in time. It made me think of this fear that we have, just like in society in general, the fear of death and the fear of dying. Because if we can control, because we essentially control like the memories in a way, we can decide when we go in the past, we can envision the future, and we can focus on the now because that's alive and present. So there's always information there, but death is like silent. There's nothing. And the fear of that, I think there's just like this fear of like adulting will get you to that point. Not to say that young people don't die and all that stuff like that happens, but let's say eventually you die of old age. Getting older, because society has a problem with like aging. Like let's be honest. Anti-aging behavior, anti-aging thinking is very much alive and very present. And you see that with how we treat, or like how people treat elders, how people treat people in care homes, all that stuff. It's also like a symbol for, let's say with youthfulness. Being young is a symbol for like almost like immortality. Like your life is vibrant, is full of life, is, you know, worth living. Whereas you have the exact opposite, where you have like everything that is associated with old is almost like disposable, not worthy. You see that in the products that we use. Like, I'm not saying that, I'm not attacking anyone. This is just observation. Everything attached to what we would perceive as old is now less valuable, less worthy, disposable, if you see where I'm getting at. So that's why I mean with like this anti-aging thinking and behavior, everything that ages is inherently useless in a way. And I think it's sad because you have like people that we will perceive as old, like elders, being treated poorly, and especially with the whole like panoramic, we got to see how we need to like move differently, because we need to save the elders. We need to make sure that we think of them, or people moving the exact opposite direction and like, oh, we don't care, the younger people will be around for much longer, so this and that. I don't know, I think it's just really, it is an interesting discourse. I'm not sure if there are studies out there that actually, that do like experiments or stuff on like how people react when they are presented with data or like information about people that die prematurely and people that are considered to like already have lived life to the fullest and therefore are worth not being here anymore. How that, I don't know if there are studies. There must be some study somewhere. I might need to check this. This just came to mind just now. I'm currently editing the video and I realized that I forgot to mention a few things, so I'm going to try and keep it concise. But what I wanted to add on is the negative association or the negativity that is surrounding the term adulting is really because society has a problem with aging. Society has a problem with aging because it is aligned with not being productive, not being desirable, not being useful. And it also really impacts people that are perceived to be old or that are perceived to be of old age due to, their physical appearance, their lack of mobility. Even if you have a disability, then that's another add-on. Like, there are many factors at play, and it really impacts people's mental health, their well-being, their happiness, their ability to preserve their livelihoods and live a peaceful and happy life, because there are really systems, and also on an individual level there are things working against them. And the problem that I see with how we speak of elders and how we communicate, or really how we treat people that are of old age or appear to be old. And when I say appear to be old, when there is like this physical appearance that indicates that someone is of old age, you see that age discrimination is much more prevalent. And it's really on us that we now feel like, oh, adulting is it's only going to get worse from here, because we know how we treat old elders, we know how we treat older people, and not only individuals but on a systematic level, from even on an institutional level, we treat people like their life is less valuable, disposable, again, of less quality. Your quality of life is going to decline. That's what we are communicating to younger generations, to younger people, because look how we treat older people. Look how we treat them, and I'm not saying like old is like this age or that age, but you see how everyone wants to nitpick when someone is successful in life. If you haven't reached a certain goal in life by a certain age, now suddenly you're condemned. You're condemned because other people will know and will determine when you are successful. If you do something by 25, then that is almost considered like, ooh, it's a bit late, but okay. What the hell? What the actual hell? It's too much. It's actually too much. It's actually too much. And having a midlife crisis is another thing. It also communicates that if you haven't reached or haven't done the things that you wanted to do, and you don't know what you're doing now, you're a failure, when that's not true. You're not a failure. You can still do whatever you want, regardless of your age, as long as you're alive. That's what counts, because that's going to keep you driven, because you can still do those things. When you're dead, it's done. Like, there's nothing now to work with. So I think that's where this negative association with aging comes from, because it also ties into capitalism, the need to appear young, whether this is investing in products to make you physically look younger. If you're mobile and vibrant and open and embracing things that are more associated with young people, if elders do that, suddenly it's like, oh wow, they're, we really like them, because it's applauded, it's rewarded, it's celebrated in society, because youthfulness is put on a pedestal. Everything that is perceived as old is less. It's less. You're less desirable, you're less productive, you're definitely not profitable. What are you still doing here? We really need to look at how we treat elders, how we treat people that we think they are of old age or they are aging. I mean, we are all aging, we're all deteriorating. Some just happen to have bodies that do that quicker, but still, we're all deteriorating. Anyhow, we put so much emphasis on, youngsters, young people. They have the fun lives, they have lives that are worth living. There is fear of death. Death means there's nothing now. Like, you cannot be productive, you cannot be anything, and you're no longer here. So it's just really sad that there's this problem, this huge problem, that we all have this anti-aging thinking, and it's internalized. It's just really sad, and I think that's what I wanted to point out. So I'm going to try and finish this video, because I know it's quite long, but I wanted to say this. Yeah. I think up until my adolescent self, I was living in a bubble. Everything was like nice and like carefree, and like, I can do whatever I want, and it's all happy and lovey-dovey and all that stuff. And then I was like, oh wait, I'm an adult. I need to contribute to society. I need to find a job and make myself useful. I need to pay for stuff, like actually work and pay for stuff. I need to pay the state. I need to start acting like an adult, whatever that means. I need to start acting like an adult. I need to survive. I need to be happy whilst surviving. So now your rose tinted or peach tinted glasses comes off, or your bubble, your rose colored bubble pops, and then you see reality. Now you see it clearly, and no one told you or prepared you properly for adulthood, for like entering adulthood. That's how I see it. You know how adulting feels like? It feels like someone just came up to you, or let's say came up to your house. You're doing your thing, living your life unbothered. Someone knocks on your door, you open the door, and this person in front of you suddenly says, welcome to adulthood. Welcome to reality. You owe the state money. you need to contribute to society in ways that is profitable so the economy can thrive. You also need to make yourself useful at all times. So that means you need to be productive, get yourself a job. If you happen to enjoy the job that you have, then that's good for you, but don't show it too much, because you know, if you show that to your peers, they might get threatened by that, and then you might need to deal with like jealousy, and you know, jealousy is a bitch, you know, so it can like actually f you up, and you know, maybe get yourself killed. Oh, also, you remember the time that you were like in school and like college, university, whatever, and you were getting all that information, if you recall any of that, maybe it's helpful if you implement that in your life, so you can actually, you know, wing it. Also, good luck to you, and don't take life too seriously. Have fun, unless you need to pay taxes, because then you need to take it seriously, because we will make your life miserable. Anyway, good luck to you, have fun, enjoy adulthood, and we'll see you soon. I was like, what? This is actually a mess. That's how adulthood actually, like, if I want to summarize it, feels like, in a way. But there is hope. You get to decide how you approach it, though. You get to decide how you approach it, what adulthood will feel like for you, how it will look like for you, how you can strip away the trauma, the troubled childhood that you had, maybe, that you will get to decide that you will not take that with you, and that you will start living the life that you deserve, all of that. So it's basically reality. The adults were protecting us from reality, the real world, because adulthood was too harsh, it was too bright, it was too painful, it was too stressful, it was too much, and they did not want to do that to us. We have it under control. It'll be fine. We got this. Anyway, this is the end of the video. I hope you are well. I hope you go well. I hope you stay well, and I will see you in the next video.